Hey there, Heather, ho there, it's Jeff Cutter down. Welcome you to another Above the Rim basketball tournament style thing. Uh, we did 64 teams, NCAA champs and friends pre 99. Well, 99 is the what? I have every champion from 1951 to 1949 except 1951 to 1999, with 97 being the exception. And then I had three runners up from each of the decades 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, with four from the 60s to fill in the 64 team numbers. So yeah, we had some exciting matchups. We are now last week. We saw the 1968 UCLA Bruins led by Lou Alcindor taking on the 64 UCLA squad, the first ever team to win the championship, in which the 68 team lost the first game but won the next four. The 74 NC State team with David Thompson and future MLB pitcher Tim Stoddard taking on the 70 Jacksonville Dolphins with Artis Gilmore, future Bulls and Spurs icon. Jacksonville won the middle game of the 5-game set, but lost the other four. And for Georgetown, the team that finally won the national title, for Patrick Ewing and Fred Brown, taking on the 92 Duke squad with Christian Laettner a shot, getting them going back-to-back titles. Georgetown actually was up 3-0, let their guard down a little bit, but won on home turf to take down Christian Laettner and crew. 73 UCLA with Bill Walton in his last final national championship hurrah, taking on the 93 North Carolina squad that won thanks to Chris Webber's stupid timeout. North Carolina won game 4, but not everything else. Oh, sorry. The 1969 UCLA squad against the 1995 UCLA squad. Little Sindor's last ride against the 95 team of Tyler Sandy and Ed O'Banion. And Ed O'Banion, who basically ruined video games for everybody. We have college basketball, college football, video games. Got his butt swept and fuck him. 1970 UCLA take on 89 Michigan, even though a lot of people said without Sindor, UCLA was nothing, but these teams won. But the 89 Michigan squad, yes, Michigan did win a national title. Took out a lot of things. Yeah, 89 Michigan won in 5 games. LA did win game 3, but Michigan won the others. Yeah, Glenn Rice on that team. Right. Anyhow, the 62 Cincy squad that won their second of back-to-back titles, and no Oscar Robertson was not part of that team. Taking on the 51 Kentucky squad that won the title and then had disarray because of point shaving. The Kentucky team beat Cincy in the Battle of Ohio, the Ohio River Battle, and 63 Loyola, who won the championship, of course, with sister Jean smiling down on them from heaven, taking on 83 Houston, who should have been in NC State, for 5 Slam Jamma, but of course, Windenburg to Charles. Loyola swept Houston. So we're down to 4 quarterfinals. Our first quarterfinal sees 89 Michigan against 51 Kentucky. 89 Michigan, 30-7 in real life. They had a tough time with 1960 Ohio State with one Bobby Knight on the squad. It was 2-2, but they won the next two. They actually had a tough time with 85 Villanova, the lowest seed to win an NCAA title at number 8 in 1985, and that's still the record to this day. They had them in Game 7. And then they took out 1970 UCLA 4 out of 5. Glenn Rice leads in points, the future Heat and Hornet, but others. Lloyd Font, the future Clipper, 9.6 rebounds. He leads Ramil Robinson, the hero of the 1989 title run with the free throws against Seton Hall. During that, steals he has a Terry Mills, future Piston, with 2.8 blocks per game. Look at the stats. Glenn Rice, 18 starts, 23 points per game. Griffin has 14 starts, and he has only had 2.4 points per game. The only guy below him is Rob Pelinka, who's played 12 games and has scored only. No, so well, how many points per? How many? points has he scored? 1 point in 12 games. Nasty. Yeah, so Rice fought and Real Robinson leading in points. All that. The 1951 Kentucky squad, 32-2 in real life. They swept the 57 Kansas squad of one Wilt Chamberlain. That was amazing. And then they were down 2-1 to the 52 Kansas squad of Claude Lavalette, but won the next three. And since that, they've actually won 8 in a row. No, they lost the first two to 52 Kansas. They swept them, and then they took 4 from Cincy. So they're on a game winning streak. Bills 5e, 19.1 points per game and 11.3 rebounds. Frank Ramsey, the future Celtic, 2.9 assists per game, and it steals 5 blocks. Cliff Hagan also on the team. So that's why he got Spivey, Linville, and Cliff Hagan when he's playing. He's doing decently for himself. There are some players and all that. Cliff Hagan, Frank Ramsey. I think that's CM Newton, future NCAA coach. So we're going to play onwards. Game 1 sees Kentucky win 87-80. 21 from Watson, 16 from Spivey, 15 from Hirsch. Yeah, Hagan playing whenever he feels like it. 21 from Garland Rice, 17 from Higgins off the bench. Rob Pelinka actually scored 2 points in 7 minutes. Nice job. So yeah, they got that. Michigan did well in the second half, but fortunately they're 2 halves to a game. Game 2 sees Kentucky do the same thing, 77-69, 21 from Spivey, 20 from Hirsch. 19 from Rice, 15 from Robinson, 12 from Higgins. On the losing side, Michigan did lead after one half. Game 3 sees Michigan win 87-77. As Glenn Rice put up 25, Hughes and Mills with 13 each. 21 from Spivey, 19 from Watson. So that worked out quite well. Game 4 sees Michigan again win 90-75, 20 from Lloyd Fott, 16 from Higgins, 14 from Rice and Ramil. Hagan became the first player to foul out in the series. 5 fouls. Remember, NBA is 6, pro was 5, so 10 points. 14 from Hirsch, 13 from Ramsey, 12 from Linville. Game 5 sees Michigan beat Kentucky 85-74, so big win for them. 24 from Glenn Rice, 14 from Mills, 14 from Hughes, 22 from Spivey, 14 from Hirsch and Watson. In Game 6, it's over. Michigan takes down Kentucky. Came back from 2-0 down. 25 from Rice, 18 from Robinson, 19 from Fott, 18 points from Linville, 17 from Hagan off the bench, but didn't help. Kentucky can't believe it. They were up 2-0 on these guys, and they flubbed it. So 89 Michigan is your champion. Well, they're going to the semifinals. Do 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 do. Hail, hail to victory, Kentucky can kiss my ass. All right, next we have 1963 Loyola versus 1968 LA. Let's take a look. Loyola 29-2 real life, national champs. They've been on a roll. They've won all 12 games. They swept 75 UCLA. The last when John Wooden rode off in the sunset. They swept the 82 North Carolina squad of Jordan, Perkins, Black, and Doherty. And 83 Houston with Elijah and Drexler. How the heck can you do that? They're 12 for 12. Holy shit. Anyway, Jerry Harkness, 16 points per game. Rouse, 9.0 rebounds. Jack Egan, 5.4 assists. Egan, 2.6 steals. Hunter, 2.3 blocks. Stats wise, the same 5 starters. Harkness, Hunter, Egan, Rouse, and Miller. Teams with 4 and 6. Go Smith, go. Taking 68 UCLA, 29-1. That one loss by the 68 squad in real life was lost to Houston in the game of the century, as they call it, at the Houston Astrodome, in which Elzindor, troubled by an eye injury, couldn't play as well. And Houston, with Elvin Hayes, saves the day. Unfortunately, though, LA got their revenge on Houston in the Final Four. They actually were down 2-1 to the 61 Ohio State squad. Another school led by Bobby Knight, 3 straight wins. There, they almost swept the 67 UCLA team, but lost game 4. But that's okay. And then they played 64 UCLA, losing 1, winning 4 straight. Stats wise, Alcindor 24.3 points per game, Lacey 12.9 point, but he can play, and Shackelford 11.4. Lacey Lynn keeping the starting with Alcindor, Shackelford, Lucius Allen, and Mike Ward. And 63 Loyola 29-2. Oh, we already talked about it. Okay. Going to game 1. Sees LA win 74-69, finally giving Loyola an L. 18 from Browse, 17 from Hunter, 5 fouls from Egan. He got knocked out early. 18 from Shackelford, 15 from Alcindor. Wow, Alcindor only had 15 points. Did we talk about 67, 68 UCLA and their leaders? Alcindor with the points, 23.8 rebounds, 14.9 in blocks, 6.3. Mike Warren assists and steals. Okay. Game 2. Sees Loyola win 86-74, 22 from Harkness, 19 from Hunter. Remember who the heck they were. Alcindor did not play this game. He got hurt, apparently, so LA had to play without their best guy. Game 3 sees Loyola win 89-81. Alcindor only scored 13 points in that game. 17 by Lucius, 14 from Lacey. 24 from Hunter, 18 from Miller. 12 from Egan. Smith with 7. LA wins 95-85 for game 4. 20 from Shackelford. Alcindor only held to 15. Well, 20 from Harkness, 16 from Rouse and Hunter. Game 5 sees LA crush it 104-78. 23 from Harkness. Rouse with 16. 37 from Alcindor. Remembering who the fuck he was. Scoring at game 6. LA wins narrowly 100-96. 28 from Alcindor, 23 from Lynn, remembering who they were. 33 from Harkness, 18 from Hunter, and a loss. So the 68 LA squad with the win, they were picked to win. And then we will go to Georgetown versus NC State. 2 teams 10 years apart. The 84 Georgetown squad, 34-3 real life, finally winning a national title for Patrick Ewing, who leads in points, rebounds, and blocks. And Mike Jackson, not that Michael Jackson, leading assistance steal. They're up 2-0 on the 71 LA squad, lost the next 2, but won the next 2, and then swept their way over 78 Kentucky, and then almost swept 92 Duke. So they actually had 9 straight wins. Right? Yeah, they had 9 straight wins, but lost the last 2. 84 Georgetown, Ewing with the points, Jackson and Wingate also doing their points too. Fred Brown, 15 games started, only 2.3 points per game, but he's passing the ball. And that's how it works. 74 NC State. David Thompson leading with 23.4 points per game. Burleson, 10.9 rebounds. Another NBA alongside Thompson. Wonji Toe with the assist, 3.6, and steals, 2.6. Blocks, Burleson, 5.2. David Thompson was only 6'4". 30-1 in real life in 1974 and ruined LA's chances to win their eighth straight NCAA title by beating them in the semifinals. They took out 66 Kentucky, Pat Riley's team in 4 straight. They almost swept the 76 Hoosiers, the last team to go undefeated in NCAA season. Lost game 4, but won game 5, and then won 4 out of 5 against Jacksonville. Stats-wise, Thompson, 23.4 points per game. Burleson, 18.5, and Toe, 14.1. So, yeah, there's Tim Studdard, the future ball player for both the Yankees and the Pirates, among other teams. Game 1. Tips off with Georgetown getting their asses handed. 54 points. Only Ewing scores in double digits. 24 from Thompson, because that's what he does. Burleson with 13. Rivers with 12. Spence with 12. Even. Game 2 sees Georgetown win 85-63. 20 from Ewing, 15 from Wingate. Martin and Jackson doing their job. Spence played 16 minutes for the 74 NC State squad, but fouled out. 16 from Burleson, 14 from Toe. Thompson with 12. Game 3 sees NC State win 84-74. Thompson, Burleson, and Rivers with 20 points each. Jackson for Georgetown, the point guard, fouled out with 5. 22 from Ewing, 10 from Martin. So NC State wins. NC State wins 75-71 in game 4. 23 from Thompson, 22 from Toe. Stoddard and Hawkins both fouled out quickly. And NC State went with went with the same 5 players: Thompson, Burleson, Rivers, Toe, and Johnson. 17 from Ewing, 12 from Williams. Wingate with 6. 75-71. Game 5. Sees Georgetown win 85-82. 17 from Wingate, 15 from Ewing, 14 from Graham. 5 fouls from David Thompson in 29 minutes. 18 points. He led the team. But unfortunately, that 12 from Toe, 12 from Hawkins. Game 6 sees the end of it. NC State wins. They're moving on. David Thompson and crew are moving on. 22 from Burleson, 12 from Thompson. And 22 from Ewing, 15 from Martin, 12 from Wingate. Man, we're seeing near game 7s. Everyone. Okay, the last quarterfinal is a battle of LA, 69-73. And yes, there are no real similarities. 69 is the Lou Alcindor team. He leads in everything except for assists. Like he would pass the ball. Haha. They lost the first game to Texas Western, the team with 5 black starters. Won the next 4. Lost game 1 to Bird and Indiana State. Won the next 3 before losing that. And then beating Indiana State and then sweeping their 95 counterparts. 69 LA. 21 points per game for Alcindor. Rowe 13.7. Shackelford 8.8. Those guys with Valet and Hines. The guy Sidney Wicks also on that team. The 73 team is the Bill Walton team. So it's Alcindor versus Walton, if you will. Walton leads in everything except for steals with Wilkes and assists with Tommy Curtis. Won the first 3 against 96 Kentucky. Lost the next 3, but then fortunately won game 7. They swept San Francisco. They took care of 93 North Carolina, so that was 8 straight wins. Stats-wise, 19.5 points per game for Walton. Wilkes, 12.8. Farmer, 10.9. Larry Holyfield, I don't know if he's related to Evander Holyfield. We have to take a look. There it is. Distracted. Went overseas. Is he related? Well, I guess Larry Holyfield isn't related to Evander Holyfield. I've been saying that for years. Fuck. Nevertheless. 2 people. Dave Myers is also there with Sven Nader. So, who wins? Will it be Alcindor or Walton? Well, I'm hoping Walton because Alcindor already has one team, the 68 team. Game 1 sees Alcindor win 34-72. 28 for him, Walton 18. They both led their teams and all that. 14 from Shackelford and Falele, 14 from Wilkes and Holyfield with 12. Game 2 sees 69 LA went Alcindor went 88-87, 26 versus 21. Well, Alcindor versus Walton. 16 from Falele, 11 from Wicks. Wilkes with 21, Holyfield with 16. Game 3 sees Walton win 75-73, 16. Walton with 12, Alcindor with 19. Alcindor led his team, but not Walton. Farmer at 16, Wilkes with 14. Fell out by Shackelford of the 69 squad with 6. Game 4 sees Walton win again, 78-65. 12 for him, 24 for Alcindor. 10 from Wicks, 69 squad. Walton only had 12. Wilkes at 14. Holyfield had 13. Alcindor losing 82-74 as Walton was scored 17, Alcindor 18. But Holyfield scored 20 for the 73 squad to lead that team, and 12 from Faleli. Game 6 sees 73 LA wins, so Bill Walton does beat Alcindor. Well, Alcindor is already in the semifinals anyway. So Walton 18, Alcindor 17. With Rowan Faleli each with 16. 18 from Walton, Welch 16, Holyfield 15, and we got ourselves a match. And wouldn't you know it, they put Alcindor and Walton against each other again for 68 LA versus 73 LA, and then the two non-LA schools, Michigan and NC State, are going to go battle tooth and nail. So they really want LA in there, but they want there. As all four of these schools are national champs: 68 LA, 73 LA, 74 NC State, and 89 Michigan. So the runners-up basically had their day. Well, that well actually the, the quarterfinals were full of champions. Jacksonville, yeah, Jacksonville and Houston. They're out of 16, were the only two runners up out of the 16 to move on to Sweet 16. Quarters and semis have been champions. So Alcindor will face Walton again, and we'll have Glenn Rice take on David Thompson. So it's a big, 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 big matchup, and we'll worry about that next Monday. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond. Adieu.